You're listening to the Ayurveda Life School podcast, where we learn, explore, and discover the pathway to perfect health through 5,000 years of medical wisdom from mindfulness, Ayurveda, yoga, and secret healing traditions Western medicine has ignored. Join us as we journey on the path to perfect health. Now, your host, Ayurvedic health counselor, Heather Johnson. Hello, my friends. How are you today? I wanted to talk to you today about herbs. There are so many different digestive herbs that you might have right in your kitchen that can help to heal you from the inside out without even having to go to the store. You don't need a prescription for them. You can just include them in your cooking and your health will improve, which is pretty darn awesome. One of the herbs that I wanted to talk about today is a blend of 3 different herbs. You may have heard of something called CCF Tea. It stands for cumin, coriander, and fennel. This is a very well-known herbal remedy within Ayurveda. I wanted to break down the different parts of this tea, explain why it's so helpful for all 3 doshas, and then give you a recipe so that you can start using it right away. The first herb we'll look at is cumin. Cumin is one you're probably more familiar with. It's a pretty strong, pungent smell. A lot of you might have it ground in your cupboard. You want to buy this in the seed format, so they're little seed pods. Now, when we're looking at herbs, we look at 3 different characteristics, or we call them the Dravya Guna. It's kind of the qualities of the herb. We first look at the rasa. Rasa is the taste. When you put it on your tongue, what is the initial taste? In previous episodes, we've talked about the 6 different tastes in Ayurveda. So we're looking at, is it sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, or astringent? So for cumin, the rasa, or the taste, is pungent and bitter. If you were to put a cumin seed in your mouth and chew it up, you would get a bitter and a pungent taste. The second Dravya Guna, or quality, we look at with an herb is the virya. So that's the temperature. Is it warm or cool? In cumin, the virya is slightly warm. So it's a little bit warming on the body. The last Dravya Guna, or characteristic, we look at is the vipaka, and this is the post-digestive effect. It's how does it actually affect your body once it's down and being digested into the belly. So with this one, the cumin vipaka is pungent. That means it's going to purify the body. It has a pungent vipaka. Okay. Now we also look at what the qualities of the cumin are. Cumin is very light, dry, and rough, and it's going to balance all 3 doshas. Great for any dosha. Now, there's some main actions or reasons that people take cumin. The biggest reason a lot of people take it is because it's a carminative. It's going to decrease gas in the body. It's also going to increase your digestive fire, or it's a dipana, and then it's going to decrease the toxins or ama built up in the body. Those are all really important characteristics of cumin. Great reason to add it in. Other things it can also help with, it's going to increase urination. So if you haven't been urinating enough or you need to increase flow, it's going to increase urination, can decrease worms or parasites. If you're a nursing mom, it'll increase breast milk. It can increase your elimination. It helps to move the stool. And it's also good at scraping or reducing body fat and clearing the channels. So it's kind of a good weight loss thing in that way. Its common uses are if you're having gas or if you've lost your appetite, cumin will help with both of those. That's our first herb. The second one is coriander. And coriander is the seed of cilantro. When you buy cilantro leaves, coriander is the seed. So again, we'd buy this in the seed form. And the rasa, or the taste, is sweet, bitter, astringent, and pungent. So it's got 4 of the 6 tastes going on there just in coriander alone. The virya, or the temperature, it's going to be cool, slightly cool. And the vipaka, or the long-term post-digestive effect, is sweet. Now, its characteristics, coriander is more light and a little bit more oily, very balancing for all 3 doshas, but it's the best for pitta. It's a good one for pitta. If you're a pitta dosha or you're pitta imbalanced, throw a little cilantro onto your food, add coriander in when you're cooking. All of those are going to be helpful for you. Its main reasons that we would use coriander is for indigestion, which is a pitta trait, so that's why you can see it helps pitta. If you have a low appetite, you got to increase your appetite. If you've got a fever, it's going to help to pull that fever down, and any burning urination. Do you notice a trend with that? A lot of these things are talking about pitta type conditions with fever, burning urination, indigestion. So coriander is definitely the one you're going to go to if you're wanting to balance out pitta, but it is good for all three doshas. The last part of this tea is fennel, and fennel is also coming from a seed. It has kind of that licoricey smell or taste if you've tasted that before. And the rasa, or the flavor, the taste, it's more sweet and pungent. Its virya or temperature, it's pretty cool but neutral, so it's more of a neutral effect. And its vipaka, the long-term digestive effect, is sweet. It's going to help to tonify and build. Anything that has a sweet flavor is building tissue in the body. Characteristics of fennel, it's more light, it's more moist and sharp. It's going to balance all three doshas again. Its main action is to decrease gas in the body, in the digestive system, and to increase your digestive fire. So it's really good to get things moving if you've been constipated or you need to increase your appetite. It's really good for that. Also helps with heartburn or ulcers. It can increase menstruation, and in really high doses, fennel could actually induce labor. So maybe not the very best thing if you're not wanting to have that baby quite yet. But it's really good also for absorption. It helps with samana vayu, which is one of the subdoshas of vata that helps to absorb into the body when you're eating food. So fennel is really great for your digestion. So those are our three herbs: cumin, coriander, and fennel. Again, we talked about their rasa, the taste of those different herbs, the virya, or whether they're cool or warming, and then the vipaka, the long-term impact that they have on your digestion. When we look at all those factors together and we combine them into one thing, we have an amazing powerhouse tea that will help to balance all three doshas that we can drink year-round, which is awesome. And you will love it. It has a really good, warming, sweet flavor to the tea. It's a beautiful golden color. It's kind of got a nutty taste, and it's very grounding and nourishing to your body without overheating your pitta fire or increasing kapha, which is great. A lot of people will use CCF tea for cleansing to kind of clean out the GI tract, and it's a kind of a detox that helps elimination. So if you're having any elimination problems, CCF tea would be a good way to go. And it will help to increase your digestion so that you're going to have a better appetite and kind of keep things moving. Coming during the holiday season, that's probably useful if you're eating things that are going to be sticking around a little bit longer, more heavy for your food. But it's going to help all of your body systems. It's going to clear the mind, absorbs the food, healthy urination, helps with weight management. A lot of people will list it as a tea for helping to control appetite and weight. So if that's something that's important to you, this tea might be a good one for you as well. Well, you could add a spoonful of honey if you want to help to balance vata and kapha a little bit. Make sure your tea is cooled before you add that. You don't want to add it when it's really hot, so it needs to be cooled off a little bit. If pitta is something that you're aggravated or is your main focus, you could try adding a squeeze of fresh lime to cool it down just a bit. And CCF tea is great in the summer as well, drunken, cool, or room temperature. Okay, so it's best warm. I think it tastes the best warm personally. But to make this tea, you just want to take 1 cup of water for 1 teaspoon of CCF tea. I just buy all 3 of those seeds in bulk, and then I mix equal ratios of the 3 and just measure them out with a teaspoon. If you wanted to emphasize one dosha over the other, you could increase the fennel a little bit more if you wanted more cooling in the body. If you wanted more emphasis on the pitta dosha, you could increase your coriander. If you're needing a little bit more decrease in the gas and you're focusing more on cumin and you want some more of that warming, then you could put more cumin. But I just keep it simple usually. Do an equal ratio of all 3. Mix them all together, put a teaspoon of that into 1 cup of water, bring it to a boil, and then reduce the heat, let it simmer for about 5 minutes, and then strain the tea and serve it. So it's easy, simple, something you could sip on throughout the day, keep your digestion moving good, and keep you nice and healthy. So I'll keep sharing little tidbits about different Ayurvedic herbs that you can just find in your kitchen that would be great for you to implement into your cooking to get all those benefits. So enjoy your CCF tea. Have a beautiful week, and we'll talk to you soon. Namaste. Before you go, was this episode helpful for you? Well, the most helpful thing you can do in return is to leave a review in iTunes. The reviews are what keep the podcast going. And be sure to subscribe and share this episode if you loved it. If you want to connect on social media, you can find me on Instagram at Heather Johnson Maya Life, or Facebook at Heather White Johnson, or online at maya-life.com. Namaste.